to empower Singaporean businesses who have no prior experience, even doing any accounting or taxes, to get the required knowledge in terms of the regulatory aspects, the accounting aspects, or any standards that they should know in terms of carrying out their accounting as well as taxes, also bookkeeping. So as you know, artificial intelligence and automation is taking a huge leap in today's world, and it's helping many businesses in terms of saving time, cost, and improving on their efficiency in terms of their workflows and processes. And one industry that is hugely impacting is the financial services industry. So this session mainly aims to give more insights, more knowledge, and also present a live demonstration of how even a businessman, a founder who has no prior knowledge of doing their own accounts, taxes, can easily do such activities quite simply using technology or softwares that is available in the market. So without further ado, I'll invite Glenn Tan, who's a board member of Singapore Digital Chamber of Commerce, to give an introduction of the chamber, as well as who's also jointly organizing this event today with us, to give an introduction of the chamber and their future activities. Glenn, over to you.
Hey, Vidu, thanks. So thank you everyone for joining, spending your lunch time for those that are in Singapore with us. And it's really a pleasure. And these are some of the events that the Singapore Digital Chamber of Commerce does. For me, I'm privileged to have be part of the board, right? And we also have multiple chapters. And then today you see one of our members being promoted here to share as well. And today is going to be quite exciting. You're going to see something very fun. Something that could be boring, and then now you could actually see a boring thing come to life, things that you might not like to do, and then you get to learn. And these are some of the things that we try to encourage in the chamber, right? For people who want to learn about the digital space, as well as those that are in the small, medium, and enterprise as well. And we focus a few chapters. We have a few chapters coming from all the way from AI, blockchain, cybersecurity, which I hit in the cybersecurity as well. And then on top of that, we have digital transformation, and ultimately we also have people like David in the room today that is also part of the finance chapter. Right. So if you guys are interested to join the community, build this group of people that are hungry to learn. And also, we do have a lot of events throughout the year, and we just had one yesterday. We had over 100 people in the room at Lazada One with Alibaba Cloud, and so that's an opportunity for people to learn. So today it's another one of those opportunities, and I'll be just sharing. I'll also share the link for our next event as well later, so that you guys can also get involved as well if you want to. Okay, so. Thank you, Vidu, and it's going to be a pleasure to see how David's going to actually change the world of accounting with AI.
Thank you, Glenn. So as what Glenn said, mostly accounting, taxes, and IRA filings is absolutely boring, tedious, and complex. So that's the impact which AI and automation is actually creating. And the impact can only be materialized if there are founders who can actually take that leap, take the challenge on, and create that innovation or disruption in the industry. And today we are proud to invite a member of SGDCC, that's David Lau. So David is a professional with 20 plus years of experience in the fields of accounting, auditing, and finance. He's one of the pioneers in introducing AI to the field of accountancy and taxation. And he served on several corporates. He's worked with several corporates, secretarial firms, and so on in his transformative journey in creating the process of automating workflows related to accounting and finance. So without further ado, David, I give you the floor to enlighten the audience on how best they can DIY their accounts, taxes, and IRAS filings.
All right, thank you very much, everybody. Thanks, Vidu, and also for Glenn for inviting us and having the opportunity to share what we are passionate about. Today we'll be talking about overall the requirements of taxes, accountings, and how filing to IRAS today has been transformed. Number one, let me share my slides first. But before I go on, right, I would like the audience, if possible, if you could turn on your videos and know who I'm talking to. At any time when you also have any questions to ask, please type in the chat down there, and we will try to answer this later part in the Q&A. So there'll be questions on basically accounting, taxes, and IRAS. And at the same time, we will also do some of the walkthrough or demonstration how AI has been used today to accelerate the amount of making this process as much less painful and as much easier as possible. Okay, so thank you very much everybody for signing up this thing, and we hope that through this sharing we also grow. All right, now we are part of SGDCC, so it's basically a association that helps to educate people. I've joined SGDCC and been quite privileged that they also taught me a lot of things. So today I would like to teach more about how you can DIY your own taxes, accountings, and IRAS filings, and I'll share my screen now. Okay. So today, this is our agenda. We were talking about tax environment in Singapore, followed by what's GST and what's corporate tax, and your obligations to IRAS. And later part, how can we work with documentation and this thing called IRAS, what's IRAS ASR, tier 3, and what are the different softwares available to you to really automate most of your accounting tax works. And then we'll demonstrate a short walkthrough on the software that we created that is also been accredited as one of the IRAS ASR Pass Tier 3 software, followed by a Q&A. Okay. Hi, my name is David. I'm actually a fintech founder. I'm also a chartered accountant. I've been 25 years in practice, and we've served more than 1,000 over customers in our practice. At the same time, from this practice, we develop software to help to automate business finance. And here are some of the solutions. Okay. Now, for the tax environment in Singapore overall, taxes in Singapore cover a few areas. Primarily, most of us be involved in corporate and GST. Okay, corporate tax is where you earn profits from your income from your companies and business, and you have to file it once a year. Typically, the tax year is the next calendar year, right, in which you have to file. So if your financial year ends in, let's say, 2024, you have to file your taxes for your corporate tax in 2025, year 7, 2025. However, for GST, it's on a monthly or quarterly basis. For most companies, it will be on a quarterly basis. However, if your transaction volumes are high, sales volumes are high, the IRAS may ask you to file on a monthly basis. Typically, GST is filed on a quarterly basis for company. Now, there are other taxes also like withholding, stamp duty, property, and also personal taxes. Today, we are focusing on corporate and GST, right? So what is GST? GST is like goods and services taxes. All right, this is when you produce taxable supplies. Your sales are within Singapore. Okay, they call it taxable supplies, and this is normally taxed at current rate is 9%. Right, and if you sell goods out from Singapore, these are called export sales services. They are actually 0 rated. Okay, for GST, you can register for it on a voluntary basis, or it could be also mandatory. Typically, if you are your turnover is not exceeding $1 million, then if you want to register, it's on a voluntary basis. However, if your revenue, your sales in Singapore exceed $1 million in a calendar year from January to December, you have to then register for GST on a mandatory basis. Once you're registered, typically you have to stay registered for more than 2 years before you can decide, if you want to deregister for yourself. Okay. And for corporate taxes are applicable for active companies. If you're dormant, do apply for a waiver to file corporate taxes. And when you are active again, active means you start making turnover and profits, right? Then you have to reactivate your tax filing to IRAS again. Now, for tax filing, it's mandatory for all companies and businesses. Okay, and this is, if you want to do a business, then this is part and parcel of your obligations. Okay, now who do you deal with for GST and corporate tax? GST, you file to control of goods and service tax. For corporate, you file to control income tax. Both of them are here under a governmental body called IRAS, Inland Revenue Authority of Singapore. Right, so here it's These are the next one is the period for the filing of GST. Okay, 1 month after GST period. The period can be monthly or quarterly. And for your corporate tax, you will file it twice. There's a estimated corporate tax, which is filed 3 months after your financial year end. Okay, and then your final tax will be filed in the following calendar year after your financial year end. Okay. To meet the requirements of GST corporate tax, you need to keep your business transaction documentation. So what are documentation? So IRAS came out with 2 criteria, right? If your revenue is less than $200,000, your documentation is basically the list of your sales and list of your expenses. And the format can be physical documents, or you can be also recorded in Excel spreadsheet or record in accounting system. You generate a listing for these. This will be sufficient for your documentation. However, if your turnover exceeds $200,000, then you have much more documented to keep. Actual invoices, credit notes, bills, receipts, rental statements, bank statements, loan, finance lease, export. Okay, this can be in physical format. Okay, and you do have to keep them for a minimum of 5, so-called your 5 years. Okay, now what format can you keep in? You can keep it in digitized format. If you scan it, you can keep it digital. This is legal already, as long that digital format is not corrupted or cannot be amended from the time you scan it. So this is very important to note that today people want to ask me, do you have to keep the physical copy? What happens if the scanning is blur or is disappeared? Okay, so if you scan it, this is accepted by IRAS. So IRAS has come out to promote more softwares to help companies to go on the digital path. They come out with this program called IRAS Approved Software Register Plus Tier 3. Now, what I mean by Tier 3 is that they meet 3 criteria, right? First criteria is that you can calculate your corporate tax in the accounting software, and you can file it direct to IRAS. Next, you can also calculate your GST returns, your F5 and F8, and then that can be filed to IRAS from the software. And the last one is that the software, you can actually issue invoice now through the system, right, to your customers, and you can receive invoice now bills from your suppliers. All right. So currently, there are 8 softwares that are currently under Tier 3. Okay, these softwares are Automa8e, AutoCount, Count2, Metro, Yongyo, OCI, Netiquette, and Zeta. All right, so these have been approved as of today. These are the 8 softwares at Tier 3 that is qualifying. Right, there are other softwares maybe at Tier 2 or Tier 1. It means to say that out of the 3 criteria, they only meet 2 or 1 of the criteria. So if you want to get a software, do look at these 8 softwares to consider whether which one is suitable for your business requirements. Right. Now we've taken this preparation overview from IRAS. Okay, basically as a company, you have to keep your documents, right? This comes from the source documents there, ranging from your cash register documents, your invoice receipts, electronic invoices, okay, and bank statements, so on and so forth. These documents are then kept on digital or physical format that you can process it and record it in your accounting software. And this can be then converted into certain reports like your tax calculation, your GST calculations. And from there on, you prepare your forms, which are then filed to the authorities. Now, ECI and Form CES are the tax forms. There's also the GST that will be filed to the Inland Revenue Authority. One more addition is ACRA. Okay, this is addition. ACRA is basically like a company registered house. It's, okay, Accounting Corporate Regulatory Authority of Singapore. ACRA, you need to file your so-called your annual returns. Okay, it is optional to file the financial statements and XBRL if you're a solvent exempt company, but if you are a non-exempt company or if you're insolvent exempt company, then it's mandatory to you to prepare your financial statements, your balance sheet P&L and the notes, plus the XBRL format for filing to ACRA. So this is additional information. So today we want to then share with you what we've been doing in order to help our fellow Singapore companies to be compliant to these requirements. So what we have done is that we have developed a few softwares out there. These are basically 6 modules of software, but we integrated into one platform. We use AI as a tool to enable better processing of your transaction documents, classification to do your accounting, as well as to compute your taxes and your GST, which is then filed directly from system to IRAS. So we have here an area called Automa8e that will handle your GST and taxes. But before Automa8e, you need to keep your documents and be compliant to the rules, and that's where Automa8e comes in. Automa8e is e-document management system as well as a AI document extraction system that cover your documents, ranging from your bills, bank statements, your agreements, and your receipts. Okay, all this is extracted and passed into a system that goes to accounting. Okay. In addition, there's also other things. So these are good to know that we also do annual reports. We can also help you to do your operation systems like your AP management, AR management, directly approving things and making payments. Okay, and lastly, we are coming up soon with corporate, which is to help you to handle your personal corporate secretary transactions, like and storage of such resolutions. Okay, without further ado, we will go through a slight walkthrough, and then we will proceed to take your questions. So if you have any questions, in the meantime, what you can do is that you can write it in the chat group. Okay, so we welcome to have your questions, and please type it there so we can take your questions later. Right?
So David, while you do the transition, one quick question. Now, there are a few participants actually that have been constantly doing this manually, submitting their taxes as well as their annual reports to ACRA and IRAS as well. How confident can they be doing that process now using softwares like Automa8e and so on?
All right. So in terms of learning a software, today's software is it is being developed, and a lot of effort we put in with proper user experience and flows. So today, to do that preparation, previously they will have probably used Excel or manual keying of data. So one of the changes and improvement today is the data can be just uploaded as a document. Like a bill, you can just put it in. The system can extract the documents, classify, and then push it into an account system. And then after that, with the reports, right, you just press the button, the GST report, tax report just come out. And once you checked it, you just press the button to file it using your Corp Pass. So today is really simplified and very, very convenient. And this is what IRAS is trying to do, is that they have connected their own system directly to such of the native systems for those 8 softwares. They're connected to IRAS. You just have to press a button through your Corp Pass authorization and then say submit. You don't have to then prepare a separate computation. You don't have to then key into the online tax portal in IRAS, do manually. So this makes it really very convenient, okay, for a busy entrepreneur today. Okay, there's a confidence that there's also overview of what filings you have made to IRAS in the platform also. Okay, so without further ado, maybe we can then show the system now and how convenient it is to actually prepare your own accounts, your documents, and your own taxes today. Right?
Right.
So this is Automa8e. Okay, Automa8e is one of the softwares that can demonstrate how the SaaS system works today. Okay, and Automa8e is also a platform called Document. This is where you can upload your documents, right? So over here, you can put your documents like your purchase expense bills, your expense claim receipts, okay, and your bank statements. It also can for companies that want to put in agreements, you can put your loans, your finance lease, your rental, and intercompany loan payable documents, right? Once you put in, right, the documents can be found. You can file it by different folders. You can create electronic folders, and you can assign different users access to these documents. Now, for these documents, once you put in, I'll take the easiest as a bill. If you buy something, right, and you have a bill on there, you upload the bill. The bill will be straight away available for you to see what data has been extracted. So, for example, here we uploaded some bills today. Over here, for example, we put in some bills like that. Okay, so this is a Dunkin' Donut, for example, view details. This is a receipt, and here you go. The system will just extract the documents and classify it, right? And if there's GST, it will also record the GST accordingly. Even if it's an inclusive of document, it will be able to extract today. And all you just need is to then approve it. And once you approve it, you click approve. It goes in the accounting system automatically, right? And sync. Okay, so data entry today is literally just capture documents, put it in a system, okay, and you meet the requirements of keeping your documents for 5 years. On top of that, the system will help you prepare your tax. So, like for example, you sync it in today, right, and then you have, there you go. the documents in there, and it's being recorded already. The text is also recorded. Okay, so this is for purchase documents you put in. All right, and for sales, if you use a system, you can generate sales invoices through the system also by simply just going here. Okay, create contact. Right, let's say Dunkin' Donuts here, right? It's actually a supplier. You can also then create invoices directly from there. Okay, once you create Dunkin' Donuts, then you can actually create invoices. Okay, and you can select whatever you want to sell. You put a GST down there, and you create your invoice. This will then flow the data into your tax as well as GST data. Okay, so once your sales and your cost data is in, you go over to the tax system, you can generate your GST data and the tax data. So simply clicking on it, checking on it, and if anything appropriate, you just press a button here, copy and do the filing. So just a moment as you generate out the GST. Okay, so let's now this quarter end is in March. You click on it, your GST form is here, right? Okay. And then you file. If everything's okay, you can click file F5. You can file manually if you do the tax filing, or you can file by copy. You click copy here. Then if you are a director, you have your SingPass at copy, you can scan here. You then proceed on with the filing, right? So we won't be doing the filing today on this one, so we go back, right? Next one, you can go to corporate tax here. Okay, corporate tax is your ECI and Form CS. So let's say file the Form CS for last basis period. You check everything's okay. You click answer a few questions. The system will calculate your corporate tax for you, and tax computation you can check. So this is the tax computation. You can click edit to check the details like this, right? And all these details are coming from your accounts directly into the system to prepare your tax. So if you want to make any amendments, you can click, right? And you can click and you can see the details. You can always make some changes, like for example, this income here is 900 and I feel that it's other income. I can click to non-taxable income. You'll make the changes straight away. So your tax will just automatically change. So this one here, if you know how to calculate tax, this will assist your process, or you can actually let access to your tax agent coming here to review your tax computation for you also, right? Once it's finished review, okay, all you need to do is to then exit here and then press use computation for filing. Proceed. This is your Form CS. Filing. Continue. Right. Continue. Again, you ask you for your SingPass or CopPass, and then you just proceed on to file directly from the system to IRAS. Okay. So here I need to fill out my name, my designation, contact name of the main person who filed the system. So it's myself. I put my name, contact number, and designation here. So if you're a tax agent filing on behalf of your clients, okay, this will be the name of the person filing, and this could be the name of the contact person of the company. So if you're a tax agent, you file a name here, right? So here, click and submit. Again, seamless filing is filing through IRAS from the system.
Yes. One quick question, David. Now, say, what if someone literally makes an error here? He plugs in the wrong document, the wrong computation is done. How can you actually reverse it?
Okay, so after filing, for example, is filed already, right? Let's say filing is done over here, right? We allow a user to, let's say, confirm. Let's say I'll do a filing here. So assuming I'll do a dummy filing my tax portal and say that this is an acknowledgement number. You can actually do a revision. In our system, you can file one revision, and here you can file the revision to IRAS. So assuming I filed this tax already, okay, the status will change from you change to something like a green form, something like that. Okay. You can then click a revision to revise the filing.
And also, do you think, David, that is a tax professional actually required in this instance, or is it like a typical startup founder, maybe seed stage or below? Can they confidently trust the computation here and directly click submit using CorpPass?
The tax computation is prepared according to the Income Tax Act, okay? But the key thing is that you need to enter the transactions properly, the documents supporting all your transactions, do a bank reconciliation, okay? And IRAS has the so-called law of FAQs and knowledge. If you read that, and then you should also have some basic knowledge of what's proper tax computation, so you can review and check. But once you're confident, you can press. If you are not confident, then you want to get someone with at least some tech knowledge to check. The system will calculate, but it's good to have at least some purview of someone maybe with actual knowledge to review a thing to make sure before you file. Okay, but this one here, you can see how fast it makes it very simple and it's within your control. Okay, so you can actually have, more important, you have the system, the calculation, you can invite your, if your tax person come in, but your data is contained within your system. So you have more control and viability to see things, what's happening. Now come back to your previous question. Can you do a revision? Yes, you can click here, right? The system will then reproduce a system. You can just revise and you can recalculate again. So all you do is to put in new transactions that you missed out from the system, and you can recalculate a new computation and resubmit the so-called revision tax computation to IRAS again.
Yeah. And that will come without any penalties.
The penalty is beyond the system. The penalty is, for example, if you do not pay the tax on time, then there'll be a penalty. Or you do not file on time, of course, then there'll be a penalty. And if you don't respond to IRAS, they're quite lenient sometimes. They just send you a notification, but it's all online. So you do check your emails and to make sure your contact number and email is updated in IRAS. You only get an email notification. They don't send letters to you today. However, if you ignore all this electronic notification from that platform, right, when you do get letter, it may be too late. That's the time when a penalty will be imposed, or probably they will invite you to a court attendance. But you can, if you can then take action to file, then basically you avoid the penalty and you tax compliant.
Okay, and then Angela actually has raised a good question. Like say, does the system extract non-tax deductible expenses within a specific GL account, or has this got to be done manually?
Okay, so the very good question, Angela. Our system, right? Our chart accounts are already modified and customized exactly to Singapore tax system. So if you put in, like, for example, expenses relating to non-deductible expenses, the system will automatically identify that as a non-deductible expenses, right? So you can actually go in and click and change the so-called the tax, okay, the tax tag TAGS. If you feel that this one is deductible, you can change it back to a deductible expense, right? So you do not need to go and do it manually anymore. It's auto-computed directly, right? So maybe I give you an example of this case, like when you have a purchase, for example, you have a record bill, right? You can see here, these items here. If you extract the data out, this classification code here. So for example, these are the chart account codes in the system. It's tailored for a lot of Singapore, right? But there's some expenses are not tax deductible. Like for example, penalties, right? Penalties here are not tax deductible. Next one are transportation, private cars. So meal, okay, private cars. So we've already taken most of the most common non-deductible expenses and put it into the system. And so hopefully that answers your question, okay? As well as non-taxable income. For example, what's the non-taxable income? Gain on disposal of your fixed assets, which is capital nature, right? But at the same time, the system also captures your fixed asset schedules. So for tax purposes, most time you have a lot of like computers, cars, and assets, right? Then you compute something called capital allowance. The system also calculates capital allowance because in our system, the system creates something called your asset schedules like this. When you buy, the system automatically creates your asset schedule directly from a bill. So imagine if you buy computers, right? Let's say you buy software, a bill, and there are 4 softwares. You create one individually, and the system will create your capital allowance schedules in the software.
That's great, David. And also, Lawrence is actually asking another quick question. Can I summarize that Automa8e is basically a documentation tool to keep record on accounting, which in the ease of an agent they can actually go through and submit the taxes and GST. I think this is where David, that you explained as well, that this is not only a record keeping tool, it actually does the calculations for you automatically, where you can also go and later submit it as well. So it's literally an A to Z platform where merely your task is just to upload the documents, while the module document, you can store it there as well. So once you upload, the AI extracts the data, and later it does the accounting computations, tax computations, all automatically, and then you can proceed to submitting as well. So it's a very comprehensive platform in that aspect. And David is asking a question: can these filing documents be done in XBRL format?
Sorry,
Yeah,
can filing document be in XBRL format? So the question of that is to do with your annual report, which is here, right? So we are working towards with the founder of XBRL, Mr. Charles Hoffman. He's the creator of XBRL. We're now looking at what's the standard required to be developed. So we have come up with the auto annual report creation tool like this. Okay, something like this. So this is annual report. So now in the future, once we finish this editable format, we want to then work with him to develop XBRL. And it's not just for Singapore, it's for the global. Okay, and there's also a new standards coming out called SQL is one, right? The QRL format just came out and approved yesterday. Global relationship language, another one. So that's something new, and they're trying to do something whereby companies submit to governments. All the data is all synced because XBRL is technology is about 20 years ago. There are some features are still not able to meet the kind of requirements of today. So the answer is yes. We're working with him to do XBRL. At the same time, also working with him on other projects that can have global reporting standards between Singapore, Hong Kong, UK, Australia. Yeah. Okay. There was one question by Angela, which is, does the tax go by GL account as a whole and not by transaction? So to answer the question is that the tax go by transactions, not by GL. Okay, so a GL, for example, a GL may be tagged with, let's say, it's non-tax deductible. So all the transactions in a GL will be non-tax deductible, but you can go in and amend it. You can go in, let's say you go and amend it. Let's say, for example, if you have put in private car expenses in the private car, right? Those are not tax deductible. But if you put taxi fare into private car, it's a mistake. You can go back to that individual transaction, click it and say it's tax deductible. It's clickable. You don't have to go in and make amendments manually. You can just click one by one, transaction level. Next question is, may I know, this is from Kong, may I know how is the US dollar to Sing dollar conversion set? Will it be manual key in or will it follow online conversion rate automatically? So that's a very good question. For the corporate tax, maybe I can go back again to just show Kong. For example, here, if your company is your functional currency or record currency is in US dollars, okay, so the question is accounting, right? If most of the transactions and the way management review the accounts are in US dollars, the accounts will be booked in US dollars. But in Singapore, your tax reporting currency for tax purposes filing is in Sing dollars. So our system actually will convert the accounting currency US dollars into Sing dollars and it will prepare the tax com in US and Sing concurrently. Your filing will be in Sing dollars, but your recording will be in US dollars. Like for example, this one here. Okay, so if you edit the tax computation, over here is your recording currency. It will translate into your tax currency for tax purposes. But in this case here, in this example, the recording currency is Sing dollars, tax currency is Sing dollars, right? So its exchange rate is 1. But if it's US dollars, right, it'll be a different rate on the average rate. Now the rates come from MAS Authority of Singapore, so it will be automatically converted. And you can click here. This will be your calculating based on your financial year. We will take the MAS monthly rates and divide by 12. Take the average, and this will be your conversion rate to the Sing dollar tax currency. I hope I answered the question, Kong.
That's great. And
Lawrence also
David
asked a question, right? Lawrence asked, Lawrence answered question answered already. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. A quick question on the annual report, David. Is that annual report that is auto-generated, is it both IFRS and IRAS compliant? Can it just, as it's generated, directly downloaded and be submitted to ACRA and IRAS? Can it be done?
Yes, it can be done. It is IFRS compliant. Yeah. So, okay. Another way before, okay, one more question is that how do you check the annual report? How do you know first? So this is the accounting report section, right? For example, here there's something called financial statements. Here we produce your profit and loss, your balance sheet, financial position, statement of equity, cash flows. And then once this you check properly is okay, then you can come here, click, you generate your annual report. Now this annual report is a full annual report, the unaudited annual report that in Singapore you're required to produce, okay? And there's a lot of sections in the report, not just the financial statements, right? You have a director's report, you have notes and things like that. So what we've done is we have created a tool that will help you to, like for example, this tool here. I'll just show you. For example, here, right? It creates your director's report according to the elements of your accounts. Like for example, your P&L is here, all right? The notes are created. Your balance sheet notes are created. So every so-called your financial element that's here, the system will create a note for you as well as accounting policy, and it will generate the whole report for you accordingly. Right? So this is a quite interesting tool. I've been working for this for more than 10 years, and I'm happy to share that this is now available for public to consume and use. So that's why you can actually DIY a lot of things yourself. And if you are an accounting firm, you can also use this and let us know your comments, because some accounting firms may want to make some tweaks, customization for their own firm's practice. Now, this is all possible today.
Yeah, that's great. And so the next question is raised by Hitesh, and it's a fairly long couple of questions. Hitesh, can I invite you actually to raise the questions live with David? I think it might be faster.
Yeah, sorry about that. No, I mean, in one of the slides at the beginning, I really appreciate the the features that are there in Automa8e. But as I saw one of the slides where there are a lot of recommended softwares as well, my question was to just how do I evaluate different softwares, and are they all similar, or do they have differences, or it is hard to answer in this forum?
Countoo's my friend. He's the founder is called Ishi Singh. He's also a Singapore permanent resident. I think we are the two software that really cater to the same market segment. Right? For example, softwares, some software caters like ERP systems. They are for mid to larger firms. Like Yongyo is a big ERP system from China. So for SMEs, you might want to evaluate the costing also, right? But Counto is actually software that caters to SMEs. I mean, in terms of software, which one is better? I think I would say that all of us pass the IRAS place. It's not appropriate for us to say who is better, but you must see which one is suitable for your own business. Right? Like for example, if you're doing a service line business, then companies that do issue invoices and bills and can help you to chase your invoices and pay your bills, that will be suitable for service industry. This non-retail. If you do service retail like restaurant, hairdresser, then you need a POS system. So some systems don't have POS systems, then it may not be suitable. But if you have a POS system that can integrate to the system through API, then it becomes suitable. Some of the systems now that are POS friendly. They already have POS system integrated, so you may want to visit those tools also. But all of us have been passed through the qualification check from IRAS in terms of GST and tax. Yes.
所以现在 China
Yeah.
跟 India
Thank you.
现在 quite about software 啊。
Sorry, I didn't get it.
I think someone is on.
Was that a question?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, another question from Terry.
the
Is
other question
Automate
is raised by-
complementary to Xero or QuickBooks, or it can replace them entirely? So I would like to answer this question in two parts. Because complementary, can I clarify? Terry, means complementary means it can be integrated together with take data from Xero, is it? So I'll answer the question. So our software today, right, we are working on another module with Report and Tax SME that will be able to take data from Xero, QuickBooks, or any other accounting software through a CSV upload for you to prepare report and tax. Okay, can Automa8e, can it replace entirely Xero QuickBooks? My answer is that there's actually onboarding process. We can take data, let's say, and the onboarding process in our system. If you finish one financial year in any accounting software, you can meet our colleagues here. We get the data from you, like your outstanding invoices, your bills, your schedules. We can do onboarding into Automa8e, right? And then, but it's your choice. If you want to do, normally you do it at the end of each financial year before you move to another software. Okay. So for the decision to move or not, you have to see again, does the software is suitable for your business, right? Every software has its own pros and cons, and it fits a different type of businesses. Not need integration. Oh, okay. Not need integration means it's not API. I believe so. So the answer is if you can download a trial balance for report and tax from any accounting software, right? We have a mapping tool that you can upload and then help you to prepare the report and the tax through Automa8e system. Like I said, we have 6 modules, so you may want to consider report and tax module. The only thing is that please note that in Automa8e, right, the system is fully automated. The difference is that because the data sets is much more comprehensive, like for example, we have asset modules, like here, we have asset modules, like here, right? So once you have bills come here, the asset module is automated. Okay, we also have investment modules here to keep your investments. Why is this important, right? Because all this will affect your disclosures in annual report. Okay, we even have things like your loans schedules directly from the loan agreement. You can scan and upload, and it comes here. It helps you to track your transactions, and this also affects your corporate tax. So all your schedules come from all these modules here. So, but I'm afraid that some softwares don't have this module, so you cannot automate the entire tax and annual report flows. So if you want to use the other accounting softwares to prepare report and tax, I would say that maybe 60-70% can be automated, then the remaining 30%, 40%, you need to manually key in the data, because those softwares are not able to give you the data in a format that can sync directly to report to create the automation. You have to, like for example, your asset schedules, right? There's a movement for depreciation and disposal, right? Those softwares just have one trial balance. There's no data. So you need to manually key in the movements yourself for disclosures in annual report, and your tax capital allowance schedules you prepare manually. Okay. So without further ado, now it's about 12:45. So we want to know that one question is to hand it back to Vidu side. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
So thank you very much, David. So I think that's it in terms of questions for the moment. There's actually one question that was emailed to me relating to fraud and sabotage. Like they've experienced few cases where employees have literally deleted certain records, etc. Is there any safeguard measure in a software, for example, I think in Automa8e, that you can protect such incidents from happening?
Okay, we do have a module. I'll say that internal sabotage can be there, but we track who does what. There's a log. Like for example, I will show you a few areas of log. So if you do transactions, right, there is a human log here, like user management. We can put as many users, right? But each person now here, there's also an activity log here that traces what you do. Okay, so one area is to look at areas and see who has actually performed changes, edits or approvals. Another one area is we created a module called Operate, right? So one of the areas is payments, right? In fraud, most of fraud is money being stolen or paid to a wrong party, right? So for here, if you upload a bill here, okay, and then you have a checking mechanism, if you check who checks the document, for example, let's say there's this bill, Dunkin' Donuts we uploaded just now, right? And now we have to pay Dunkin' Donuts, right? For example, right? So you click on it, right? And there's an approval process here. Okay, who is going to check the bill? If I click the bill, right, I'm the one logging in, right? My name will be here. So no one can pay the bill unless it's checked. So that's one of the fraud controls. Another one, someone else can approve the bill. Let's say Vidu, you approve the bill. If you would log in, approve the bill, or the boss approve the bill, or the finance department approve the bill, the name will be here. Then lastly, schedule payments and record payments. Currently, we are like accounting, right? You record the payment, you go to DBS Bank, our external system, and you pay. That one's outside system, so there's no control down there because we do not touch the bank. However, we are going to tie up with Aspire Bank, and we're in talks with also one of the 3 big banks, plus also Finmo, and tonight there's a talk with Decentral. If we integrate those systems together, it's virtually embedding the so-called the payments and collection system to the software itself. So if there's any payment out, right, it must go through the system like that, and then it's authorized payment. If any payment go through the system, not tagged to our system, right, then you may want to then consider that as maybe bypassing of controls, right? Hopefully that will answer that question.
That's right. One quick question, actually, that was texted to me, David. How effective is your computer vision in Automa8e? Like, can it extract information from bank statements, lease agreements, etc., like which are more text-heavy documents?
The extraction is close to 91%, 95%. It can extract a lot of documents. So let me just try to show example. Let's say a bank statement, right? Let's say over here.
Yeah, and then there's a second part. Can it capture information from handwritten documents as well?
Okay, let me see where I can show you that. Okay. Let's try upload. Okay, let's try upload. Let's try a expense. Let's try a expense claim. Okay. Sample. Let's try. Hold on. Now. Let's try this one. Purchase bill. I try a telco bill, a tech top bill, a what other bills have? A phone repair bill. Okay, let's take a look. Bank statement here. Bank statement, and then finance lease. Let's try finance lease here, and rental agreement. Maybe rental agreement. Rental agreement. Okay, so all these are being uploaded. The thing will be actually extracting these documents on the spot already. So we can wait a while. I let the AI work this thing. It takes about 1 minute, 2 minutes per document. So it does in sequence. So if you want to wait, you can click here and you can wait. But the idea is to throw it in, you know, and the system will have a process flow, right? So something like this, the process flow would be retrieval. You upload documents, all will be under uploaded. The moment it extracts finish, you go to either waiting check. That means telling you that please check this document. If the document is extracted perfectly, accounting is record perfect, you go to awaiting approval, right? So let me see which one have already finished. Okay, bank statement here, just finished. Okay, here, view document. So the bank statement is here. It's extracted the bank statements accordingly. Yeah. 40, 41, 47, last one. It's a few pages. Then 47. Yeah, last one, 21. Yeah. So it's actually a bank statement. Let me see other documents. Are they ready? Uploaded. So uploaded, see, all gone. Means it's extracted already. It will be under here or there. Let's take a look. So just now we have bills, right? So I look at bills now. Okay, so these bills are here, and it's under either awaiting checking or awaiting approval. Let's take a look. So Singtel bill, let's check. Okay. Singtel bill, it's 121.50. Here is cent. Oh, so GST is 1 cent off. What the system does is it take this GST and it will allocate to each of the line items. So all the line items are here. Okay, and it extracts line item one by one. Okay, and if you find that GST off a bit, we just have to come here and click. Now it ties. Okay, so it's simple. Upload. It classifies transactions actually row level or bills line by line, not the total bill. Go line by line. And if you want to do for accounting, these are for to classify to your accounts, for example. We go to details here, click edit, right? There is a master classification here. So like you can click one time, say this is let's say mobile phones or landlines. Click, you see all the classification done. But if you want to classify it individually, you can also do so like this. This one maybe is an asset, it's a phone. I can click down there, office phone, for example, right? If you click it's an asset, you go into your fixed asset listing already, automatically, and depreciation starts according to your accounting policy. So you don't have to do any more of those Excel spreadsheets and things like that. The system is automated, right? So once you save, right, and then you check, okay, and then you approve. This is approving the document checking, and you sync it to Automate. You go here under assets, under your equipment, it should be here. There you go. This is a Singtel bill, and this is the one on depreciation started according to your date of the bill. Okay, if you want to see the bill, you can come here, you can click the purchase document. This is your Singtel bill. It's tied to your transactions. So this part here is where I say the documents are tied to every single of your transactions in accounting and GST. That's why you're super compliant. The auditors come, no problem. Just let them have this access to the system.
That's right. A quick question raised by Reena. Does it capture asset register?
Yes. Once you have a bill and you line item says asset, for example, there's one asset just now, right? You go to this asset register, it's here already. So we automated asset register. There's also asset number here allocated to the equipment. Just make sure when you classify it properly according to the asset class. So let me just show you asset class here. Just now was the bill, right? From here, Singtel, right? Click the bill, view details. Click here. You see this? This is the classification. So here we have asset classes here. You can choose which one you want. Okay, so here covers most of Singapore's. We cover like 90% of all asset classes. In fact, more than normal. So you should be able to use this easily. Yeah. Another questions. How storage of these documents? Sorry. Can asset module be used to manage stocks? So the asset module is actually for assets and investments. The stock module, right, we are now using a periodic method, but we are working on the stock module. We haven't launched the stock module yet. We're looking at working on this year. Hopefully we can launch it end of this year or early next year. That answers Carl's question. How storage of these documents work? Unlimited storage. So the storage, there is a storage is not free. We use AWS, which the SLA is 99.9%, right? So there's a storage cost. Maybe Vidu, you can answer the questions for them.
Yeah, so that means under the even the basic package, we provide 50 GB, which is free, which is included in the package. And then if you want any excess storage, that is like for every $10, you get 400 GB per month. These all rates are US dollars per month. Now, normally 50 GB, you can even store a lot of information, quite a lot of information spanning a number of years. So if you're a SME or a startup or even a very low-end enterprise, 50 GB is more than sufficient to keep data for 5 or more years there.
Just gauge what 50 GB, right? Microsoft Office, right? I use for 10 years. My 50 GB haven't finished using it. So all those email attachments on there is still in Microsoft 365. That's 50 GB, right? So if you want to buy more, of course, you can buy more. $10 for 400 GB, I think can use for a long time. So unless you're doing videos, right, then if it's just documents, you can. I mean, it's probably a very it's quite sufficient for most companies for many years.
That's right. David, I think we're running out of time. Can we quickly show a lease or loan agreement? I think that will be quite interesting for the audience.
Sure. So let's say just now we put in a lease agreement, right? It was here. Let me take a look. Is the lease agreement here or is it here? Hold on.
Yes.
Phone Extreme lease agreement. Hold on. Let me find the lease agreement. Lease agreement is a rental contract, right? So we put so here. So we put this now MET rental here. So the system actually extracts out the lease terms from your software. So here, for example, year 1 to 3, 260,000 per month, so on and so forth. So under detail here, you extract out who's the landlord, where's the rental place, and then these are your installment plans. So when you have this taken out, right, the system will remind you when to pay your rental. So there's a recurring function to help you to get your cash flows also. So it will also calculate the accounting for the lease. So once you check all this, right, it goes here, it comes back to your lease module over here under rental. Rental is correct use accounting term, right? For example, and you have a lease, something like that. So it will then produce your lease schedules out here. But at least accounting, right? You can discount the lease to create an asset and a liability, right? So all you need to do is the system will tell you when you need to pay your rental, so-called installment. But at the same time, the system will create something called your intangible, your right of use asset. So if you're accountant, right, this will be automated for you. You don't use Excel spreadsheet today. You can create this from the system. As for other documents here, I just want to show one thing. The document is handwritten. Hold on, let me find it. The phone bill, is it here? MT bank statement. Is it this one? Hold on. Yeah, LYK Mobile Services. So the system actually can read handwritten. If you can read by your eyes, right, the system is able to extract the words out and yeah, it's able to extract the words out and the numbers automatically. So once you see this, for example, then you can come here and you can check and approve the bill. Normally, staff claims are this way, right? Sometimes they crumple up stuff like taxi fares and things like that, medical claims, no problem, you can extract. The system using vision technology, so it can be any formats. There's not a standard format. But of course, if you can have a proper scan, digital e-invoices, proper scan, the extraction is close to 95, 100%. Even if you crumple it, right, you may expose some kind of, some old kind of receipts, partly shaded and faded, right? That one maybe check a bit, but the system can still extract. As long as the human eye can see, it can extract. Yeah.
Yes. Then one last final question. Okay, this is a decent question. So David, one participant is asking, is there a way they can actually try out this software?
Yeah, you can. We have a tryout period, and you can ask Vidu and the team out there. There's also support. Natasha is here. She is the person in charge of customer success. You can call them, book a time, and also Lara is a trainer. Every week there's a training on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So in case you want to learn, you can learn physically through a webinar, or you want to learn online. There's also a online can learn your training anytime. Okay, and for trying out, right, we provide a free 1 month minimum trial period, and hopefully that. So far, many people learn this thing like it take about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They learn really very fast. It's supposed to be meant to be easy. So today, the UI UX design by our designers make it. The purpose is that we got them to make it very simple as a user to use the system.
Yes, just to clarify, to learn this, it normally like to learn accounting and taxes, it takes weeks, but here it's self-learning, so you can learn it within a few hours. It depends on how much data that you have to migrate and so on, and it can be learned pretty fast now. Even I'm not an accountant, but all I do is upload the documents and the accounts taxes are done for myself as well. So it's very quick learning solution that is built. And so feel free to log into our website. You can sign up its FOC for a particular period. Naturally, we are limited. Certain features are not available on the free version, but feel free to have a shot. I will drop an email after this as well for those that are interested to. We will also do a couple of workshops free of charge as well. So those who are keen on literally moving or migrating from their existing systems, or want to digitize their current manual processes, we are happy to conduct a few workshops, demos, etc., so that they'll have a more broad introduction to our platform and try it out. The vision of the founder, David, is to digitize mainly startups from day one. So we offer a very concessionary rate for startups as well as SMEs and accounting firms. So, and I will drop an email with all these after the session as well. So thank you again, David. I think it was quite insightful. I think many participants, I think that have expressed, have stated very clearly that no one knew that DIY accounting taxes were possible in Singapore. And I think this is the time has come. And I think it won't be long before systems are developed where even yourself, you're working on it, where you try to build more autonomous systems moving forward. So most of these tasks, whether you're a startup founder or SME, you can literally do things just by uploading documents as it is. And so a lot of things are in the pipeline of what we are doing as well. And thank you again for taking your lunch time to pop in for this session. And we also thank both Automa8e, David Lau, as well as the Singapore Digital Chamber of Commerce for arranging this forum. And I hope it was very insightful and informative in your future journey. So we look forward to having you as a part of our future events as well. And have a great day. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.